Supposed to be live. Let me just check on everything. Hope you all had a good Christmas, and you're planning nice merry things for the new year. I hope you all can even hear me. Let me just check. Sure, sound's coming through. Yes, everything is a-okay. Everything's right with the world. So y'all can hear me. It's a very spontaneous sort of live stream, so send out a couple of messages, fire a couple of shots, so people can know that I'm live. Specifically, my name is Doofy, as he did ask me. Now, oh. And I'll send it to a couple more people too. So this is just going to be a manga haul. If you've already seen my collection video that I recorded last week, then you're probably aware of all these already. As I filmed the collection video after I'd already purchased sort of the manga that I wanted and needed for the end of the year. And most of these things are just things that I've sort of bought since like October, November, some in December as well. But there are 4 volumes that came in immediately after I recorded the manga haul. So there is something new, at least in here, and we'll get to that shortly. Where's the link for this video? I'll send it across in Discord as well. Not that I have a Discord, but just other people's Discord, because I like hijacking other people's Discord with my spam. And everybody likes spam, right? That's one thing I've been procrastinating on, because I do like Discord. It's nice interface. You know, I like sort of chatting to people on there, but setting up my own is just, man. Do I have the patience? Do I have the time? And so many other people do it better anyway. Like some people got some really cool Discords, you know, like the setups and everything, like with all the different pages and stuff. Is it worth me setting up my own? Send one out. If you wanna join. Join. All right, that's all the metal stuff I'm going to do. That's all the. I'm not going to spam everyone, because that'll just take some valuable time on the video itself. So, my name is Doofy. Hello, Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Chrysler to you as well, my friend. Starting the community is what's hard. Yeah, but once you get one, you're golden. Discord is fun then. Yeah, man. You got a really good sort of setup on your Discord server. I really like it. Like with all the different sort of widgets and I don't even know what you call them. I don't know the specific terminology, but you know, the bots and stuff that kind of manage things, and obviously the different moderator roles and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I know that's the sort of grind of it. I might set one up. I mean, I do technically have one, because obviously I've got a Discord account, but it's very bare bones, and there's I haven't advertised it at all. So yeah, you should like yours, man. You've got a really good Discord, and it's healthy as well. Like, and when I say healthy, I mean it's you know, you've got a lot of sort of interaction on there. You know, a lot of people kind of, you know, having independent conversations with one another and stuff, and obviously you got the voice chat feature and stuff. You can sort of do live streams and stuff on there, so it's kind of like a all-in-one sort of utility sort of tool thing. It's pretty good. Hello, Puffin. Good to see you. Hope you had a good Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. I think there's only four watchers at the moment, so welcome to the 4 of you. I did want to get a live stream out before the end of the year, because I did neglect to record a live stream for my. When did I do my last manga update? I did do one for October, but then I deleted it because I wasn't happy with it, and I don't think I did. I didn't do one for November, and I haven't done one this month. But this, I'm not really. I might talk about a couple of things that I've read, like in the last couple of months, kind of get that out of the way. But primarily, I just want to kind of focus on my sort of manga pickups. Hey, manga reader. Hey, happy, happy Chrysler. Yeah, Merry Christmas. What guitar do you have in the background again? No, it's a Fender Mustang. Beautiful Fender Mustang. It's not a Mustang. Sorry, it's a Jazzmaster, as you can see there. It's not set up though. The bridge. I need to set up the whole bridge sort of stuff on it, so it's ever out of tune. I can never get it in tune. So it's just not it's not really playable. It's a beautiful guitar. Don't get me wrong. It's a 2018 model, so it doesn't come with the like the sort of 2-channel thing. It doesn't have like an in it, like, you know how the older models have like the switch. This just has the tone knob that acts as the switch. It's kind of like a dual sort of function on that. So it's a really good model. But I don't have the know-how to set it up properly, because all the intonation and the bridge is all out of sync. So it's this is a Mexican one. Yeah, you can see the serial number upside down on the back there. It's a good guitar, but because obviously the bridge isn't set up properly, I get lots of string buzz, and it's very difficult to keep in tune. So I'm using my other guitar at the moment, which isn't an electric. It's just my standard classical guitar, which I kind of prefer playing like sort of classical Spanish music anyway. But yeah, I would prefer like a more versatile guitar. Like, I was thinking of trading that one in for a Stratocaster, because I've had Stratocasters for years, and I just find they've got such a creamy tone, and they're just so versatile. You can pretty much play any sort of genre of music on them. So I might trade that in for a Strat, like another Fender Strat, like a newer model, maybe a sort of Eric Clapton signature or something. I don't know. Something that's easier to play and easier to keep in tune and easier to maintain. Because I'm not, I don't have the commitment to learn how to properly set this up. So yeah, but yeah, I got a real nice little Mexican Strat with a tobacco burst, and oh, nice. Yeah, I bet that's a really nice one. Mexican Fenders are just a really good model of, like, really good series of guitars, really high quality. Yeah, it's really nice. I think that's a maple or maybe mahogany neck on that. I'm not too sure, but it's the fretboard feels really just when it's playable, it feels fucking amazing. But alas, never stays in tune. I had an Ibanez part of the SR series, Ibanez with a Floyd Rose bridge before that one. And I thought that was difficult to keep in tune because it had the locking nut and obviously the Floyd Rose, but it wasn't difficult to keep in tune. It was just difficult to sort of detune it into like an alternative tuning state. Whereas this one is even more difficult. It's got the floating bridge. Anyway, this isn't a video about guitar nerd stuff, though I do appreciate having being able to show off my guitar. Coffee. Yeah, an Ibanez, a bit of a shredder. Oh, mate, no, I cannot shred for my life. I'm really not good at. I'm more of a rhythm guitarist rather than a lead guitarist. Yes, yeah, the manga. Okay, right. Okay, so these aren't in any particular order, but I suppose I'll start with the sort of ongoing things. Things that I'm sort of trying to pick up slowly but surely. I did pick up volume 2 of Old Boy. Is this coming through the right way around? Order with my spam. 1 second. Hi, Jack. I'm just doing a little siesta. Things that I'm sort of trying to pick. Just doing a little. Oh yeah, cool. Siesta. Right, that's coming through the right way around. It's just on the streaming thing is switched like from my view, so I'm looking at myself but in like a mirror image, so it's kind of weird. But yes, Old Boy volume 2. I've seen the chat as well, ladies and gentlenuts. Yeah, mate, you've got me onto those D's nuts jokes, man. It's just so funny. It's just so fucking random. Yeah, Old Boy is awesome. I read the first volume a couple of months ago because it's the only volume that I have. And unfortunately it's out of print because it's a Dark Horse series, not very popular, 8 volumes. And yeah, it's just it's not something I've been able to pick up very easily. I'm trying to get them. I did pick up. I mean, they're still on my shelf. I should have got them up. I did pick up volume 3 and 4 as well, but I wasn't able to pick up any more. So it's a shame that I may never pick up the remaining 4 volumes that I need, but I'm glad that I have at least volume 2. Volume 3 is just astronomically expensive. It's just a joke. Yeah, old boy, fucking brilliant, man. Oh, Manga Reader, man, you get the good deals. I think you use Reddit a lot, don't you? Like the manga swap on Reddit, it's supposed to be pretty good. 300 on eBay. Yeah, no chance. No chance. I'm not paying that much for an 8-volume manga that may or may not be that good. Because I heard that the manga is actually inferior to the film, even though it's the original. The Korean film is a lot better from what I hear. Anyway, moving on. Picking up more volumes of I Am a Hero, volume 8, volume 9, and volume 11. 10 is still out of stock and completely unavailable. I'm really hoping that I didn't miss the train on that one, because it's now the only volume that I need in order to complete my my I Am a Hero set. So yeah, I'm glad that Dark Horse decided to reprint these, but as soon as they come in stock, they just disappear straight away. So I'm really worried that I might have missed the train on volume 10, but I'm keeping my eye on it every single day. The Amazon listing to see if it comes back into stock, and I'm hopeful that it will. Bookfinder, yes, but yeah, Bookfinder is good, but Bookfinder, it only consolidates the search for about 3 or 4 different book retailers, like Blackwell's and Book Depository and a couple of others. So it's good, but you need to have. It's good to have more resources as well. There's one that I use called where is it now? Biblio. Biblio is pretty good, as well as what's this one called? I was looking through my bookmarks. A library. So I guess I'll put a link in the chat just so you guys know what I'm talking about. Well, a library or a library. I don't know how you pronounce it. Bakamatsu, hello. Thanks for joining. Sorry if I bugged you. That's promoting my videos. What's this one? Waterstones. No, it's not. Waterstones isn't very good. Sometimes you can find some pretty good stuff on John Smith's Student Store, which is a really odd resource. Another one. I got a couple of volumes of. I got a couple of Tezuka volumes on there a couple of months ago. So it might be worthwhile looking at that too. Anyway, so yeah, I Am a Hero. 3 more volumes of that. All I need now is volume 10, and it's going to be a race to get them as soon as they become available again, if they do. One can only hope. I've seen Doofy's tweet. If you told me 8 years ago that I would have if you told me 8 years ago that I would have ArchAngel manga making these nut jokes, I would have never believed you. Well, influence can be a funny thing. My name is Doofy, or just Doofy. Influence can be a really funny thing, and I do tend to believe that old adage of imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So take it as a compliment, my friend. Moving on, I got the new volume of Yoshihara Suge's collected works. So here we've got Red Flowers. It's going to be the second in a total of 7 collected works by Yoshihiro Suge. I don't know what sort of hoops Ryan Holmberg jumped through in order to get these out, because Yoshihiro Suge has been notoriously unreceptive to having his manga published in the West. So we're very lucky to have these, and I mean, I'm going to try to show you something that is not very. I mean, the first volume was a little bit more sexually explicit than this one. This one's more sort of to do with like rural sort of stuff. But you can see the artwork there. It's very, very nice. Very Shigeru Mizuki, very sort of Yoshihiro Tatsumi, very quintessentially Gekiga 60s Garo style. And does this one have an essay? Yeah, there's always the obligatory essay in the back, which I always look forward to reading. So it's a nice, gorgeous little book. Really, really nice. Beautiful presentation from Drawn and Quarterly, as always. These are some pretty fine editions. So I recommend it. I really do. I mean, I haven't read this volume yet, but I've seen a couple of reviews of it already, and I know that Manga Kid did a really solid review of this, and he had nothing but glowing praise for it. So I'm really looking forward to reading it, and I do enjoy Yoshihiro Suge's work from what I've read of him so far. Let's see. Oh, that's something I read. So this isn't a pickup of mine. I wanted to talk about this just because it was something that I read recently. And I didn't have an opportunity to talk about it in my previous manga wrap-up video. And that's Joan by Yoshikazu Yasuhiko, the same dude who did Mobile Suit Gundam The Origin. Kavoth, nice to see you here, man. Yeah, it's just an impromptu live stream. I was actually watching a live stream from Code Provider earlier today, and I just thought, you know what, I'm kind of in the mood to stream. I feel a bit talkative today. I'm kind of going all over the place. But Joan by Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. This is a beautiful book, an older release by Comics One. It's from about 20 years ago now. I think it was published in 2000, 2001 maybe. And as you would imagine, judging by the title, it's about Joan of Arc, or it's loosely based on the life of Joan of Arc. That's what it looks like without the dust jacket. But the reason why I want to talk about this is because look, it's in full watercolor. How gorgeous is that? Absolute beautiful artwork. It's gorgeous, right? I mean, if there's anyone who really knows how to use watercolors, it's certainly Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. He's got such a good flair for not only, I mean, it's not even just about the color, it's the use of color in order to represent emotion and really setting the scene and the sort of ambience. Really, he uses a lot of like yellows and blues and reds to, sort of encapsulate the emotion of a scene. I'm trying to find a good example. I think it's in the third volume, but there's a scene where there's like a battle taking place, and it's all just rendered in red. Everything's just red, and it's so striking. I don't think it's in this volume, but like here, I mean, it's not a battle scene or anything, but you can see everything here is just like rendered in yellow, just to kind of encapsulate that sense of panic. It's like a crowd that's sort of like panicking, and I don't know. It's just so. Just the symbolism. Here we go. Like here's a violent scene, and it's all like rendered in like deep blood red, crimson. It's really striking. So it's a 3-volume series. If you can find it, then I really recommend it. It's sort of like you can see the other volumes there. There's poor Joan burning on the stake. Poor lass. But yeah, Joan by Yoshikazu Yasuhiko. That's not one of my recent pickups. I've had this for years. But I just wanted to talk about it because I haven't had an opportunity to talk about it. Let's check the chat real quick. No idea who Suge is. What kind of stuff did they do? Sort of, I mean, he's one of his more recent works is an autobiography called The Man Without Talent. And he's basically he's one of them sort of genius procrastinators. He's a really good storyteller, but his output for content is very low. He hasn't really created any manga since the 80s. And he just really talks about sort of like the everyday sort of follies of life, which is a very broad sort of open statement, I know. But I mean, particularly looking at his at this series, I mean, this is, I assume. I mean, how about I just read the back? Because I'm probably not going to do any justice by sort of winging my way through it. Yoshihara Suge leaves the early genre trappings behind, taking a reflective and humorous approach in his stories inspired by his own travels. Red Flowers ranges from sensitive studies of people and landscape to ensemble comedies set in the rural villages, atmospheric inns, and hot springs of Japan. There are irascible old men, rowdy gangsters, hospital escapees, and a mysterious mutt. In a world of tradition, lush natural environments, secret fishing holes, snow-buried houses, and bubbling cauldrons, Red Flowers affirms why Suge went on to become one of the most important cartoonists in Japan. These vital comics inspire a wealth of fictionalized memoir from his peers and a desire within the post-war generation to document and understand the diversity of their country's culture. That's a nice blurb. So I wouldn't have been able to wing that off the top of my head. And I'm certainly not verbally dexterous enough to attempt even to try. So hopefully that gives you some kind of insight into what sort of creator he is. Okay, moving on. Got a big book here. Guardians of the Louvre by Jiro Taniguchi. It's part of the Louvre collection. Different select artists, cartoonists, novelists, graphic novel artists are commissioned by the Louvre Art Gallery in Paris. I don't know if it's on an annual basis or just every now and then, but the Louvre put out commissions to have artists sort of center stories around the gallery in just their own sort of creative interpretation. And this is Taniguchi's interpretation. Another big sort of release hardcover, full color, beautiful artwork. And I think this one, I think there are artists, like real life artists, that have artwork exhibited in the Louvre, like historical artists, like Da Vinci and Van Gogh, that actually feature in this manga. Here we go. There he is. There's the man himself, Mr. Van Gogh. So I'll be interested to know what this is about. But this was a pickup just because, one, it's Jiro Taniguchi, and I always enjoy his works. And two, I'm wanting to get all of the commissioned pieces from the Louvre. So there's the Rohan at the Louvre, Cats of the Louvre, obviously Guardians of the Louvre. I'm sure there's one or two others as well. But I'm very intrigued. And I've always wanted to go to the Louvre. I mean, I love art galleries anyway. Like I've been to like Tate Liverpool, Tate Modern, Tate Britain. I don't know if the Saatchi Gallery still exists, but I do want to go to the Saatchi Gallery, and obviously sort of the different regional sort of art museums, like in different cities, like the Henry Moore Institute. I love art galleries. I love any sort of museums, but the Louvre, the Guggenheim in New York, these are places that are just like like massive in the art world. The Venice Biennale, which I think is like an annual event. I almost had an opportunity to go there, but I missed out. So the Louvre, everybody knows what the Louvre is. It's a place where I've always wanted to visit. So anything to do with the Louvre, like this, is sort of like a cover buy, an instant buy for me. Where's my coffee? I don't like my coffee going cold. How are you all anyway? Did you have a good Christmas? Did you get all your gifts from Santa? Santa bring you what you want? When I was a kid, we used to move around a lot. Like any house that I lived in, we never had a chimney. So I was always told that Santa had a skeleton key, that I could just unlock anyone's door and come in and leave presents. And that used to terrify me. So it's a little bit of ArchAngel manga lore for you. So Santa was never good in my books, and I never believed in him. I always knew he was bullshit, because I came from a poor family, and Santa doesn't deliver presents to poor people. So I never had that sort of like mysticism towards Christmas, like it was this magical sort of thing. I always knew that my mum struggled to put aside her state benefits to to get me like a little present every now and then. Santa never visited my house. So, and if he did, then well, apparently he had a skeleton key. Creep. But anyway, irrespective of that, I hope you all had a good Christmas. I hope you all had fun with your families and friends, and you all got your presents, and you got socks and stuff and whatever else. Let's have a little read of the chat before we continue. Oh, that's very nice of you. Thank you, Doofy. Man, ArchAngel is really the king of alternative manga. I just love like artistic manga. I love Gekiga. I mean, I come from an art background and a creative background anyway, so just the aesthetic of it all really appeals to me. It's not, I mean, I guess part of it you could say is sort of an elitist thing. I like being different, but I don't read it just to be different. I read it just because I genuinely enjoy it. It's different, very, very, very different. I mean, I read one of the strangest manga that I've ever read in my entire life the other day. I posted it on Twitter. It's called Red Red Rock and Other Stories by Seiichi Hayashi. It's incredibly abstract. Basically, the only way I can describe this guy is like the Japanese Andy Warhol. Trying to show you some really weird sort of stuff without showing you anything that's too out there. This particular picture I want to show you. Where are you? Where are you? It's one of the last stories, in fact. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, here we go. So, see on the here. He used photo negatives from actual photographs of like Japanese soldiers over in Manchuria, and he presented them in sort of like negative to show that they hadn't been developed yet. So it's just a really cool aesthetic. It's really, really odd, far out sort of cartoonist and illustrator. Very difficult to describe, but it's stuff like that. Like there's a lot of sort of imagery in this that I would really enjoy on like in like a frame or like on a T-shirt or something. Just the illustration of it is just really, really appealing to me. Yeah. Gekiga is I really like that sort of avant-garde sort of stuff. Let's have a look at the chat. Brother to that other mangaka, isn't he? Yeah. Yoshihara Suge is the brother of Tadao Suge, who did Slum Wolf and Trash Market, which I'm yet to read. Sorry, my mouse is going on the fritz. Kavoth, you read Downfall, 7 Billion Needles as well. Both great manga, but I was expecting more from 7 Billion. Yeah, I used to laud 7 Billion Needles as one of the greatest things I'd ever read, like about 10 years ago. But then I recently read it, sort of reevaluated my feelings on it, obviously having a more mature perspective. And yeah, I agree. It doesn't really hold up well. It does come across very amateur. I think it was one of the author's first published manga, and that certainly does show. So yeah, I think it may be maybe a victim of its own hype, because it was one of those sort of earlier vertical releases that had a really sort of nice design. It was high quality. It sort of appealed to that sort of alternative reader scene. People who want to read something a little bit different. But other than that, it's pretty average. I'm glad you like Downfall. Yeah, it does come across very autobiographical. There has to be a lot of Asano's own personal experience as a manga author in that, experiencing burnout and sort of like competitive edge with his peers. I mean, so a story as dark as that could only be told through somebody who has personal experience. I don't think you can imitate that sort of realism, biographically. So it has to have some autobiographical elements in it, and as well, given that the character is is the spitting image of Inio Asano himself. And one thing about authors, particularly mangaka, they don't really like self-inserting themselves. Like even if a mangaka does an autobiography, they'll change the name of the main character or change something about them, because there's something about not self-inserting, not having self-inserts in their own manga, even when they're telling their own story. I'm not too sure why, but it's certainly a trend that I've noticed from autobiographies that I've read. Okay. Yeah, Bakamatsu, you still need to get that. That and others like The Friendly Neighbor, the Friendly Neighbor and The Journal of My Father. Yeah, both Jiro Taniguchi. Doofy. My parents told me our furnace would expand into a chimney so he could come down. I've heard that one as well. I think that's what my auntie told my cousins, because they didn't live in a house with a chimney either, which is even stranger. If you think about it, Santa's like God, isn't he? He's like omnipresent. He's here. He's there and everywhere. He's here and nowhere. He can deliver presents to billions of children all over the planet in one night. Yeah, it's like some deity. It's terrifying. Mango reader. Recently got into vinyls, so I got some Last of Us vinyls. Nice. Oh, the soundtrack to Last of Us is fantastic. I've actually seen I've seen videos of the guy who does that really beautiful guitar sort of composition live in concert. I actually have a vinyl collection myself. I love vinyl. It's personally, I believe, the best way to listen to music. Especially if you've got a good sort of separate setup with the amplifier and all of that. It's a brilliant way to listen to music because it's completely monologue. So yeah, nice one. Doofy, that looks amazing. More recently, I've just been having fun with manga that is more experimental with the presentation paneling. Yeah, not nice. Hello, Spicy Tuna. Now you're not too late. We've only just pretty much started. Merry Christmas as well. Hope you had a good one. Okay. Some more Gekiga. This one by Yoshihiro Tatsumi, the godfather of Gekiga. And that's a Midnight Fisherman. Gekiga of the late 1970s. This is something that's been on my wish list for a couple of years now, but I think it's going out of print. It's from quite an obscure publisher, published by Landmark Books. They're based in Singapore, so this is the only manga that I own from a publisher based in Singapore. And obviously it's all in English because Singapore's main language is English. So yeah, there's a sort of view of the artwork. I'm hoping I don't show you anything too explicit here because I haven't read this, so I don't know what it's like. Oh, boobies. Oh, that looks nice. Awesome birds. But yeah, I think this is just a series of his short stories. Yeah. What does it say in the back? Yoshihiro Tatsumi's Gekiga plumbs the depths of the lost Japanese youth of the 1970s. Today, youth of every age group appreciates Tatsumi. They are attracted to him because they connect with the struggles and darkness of modern life, which he portrays. Yeah, I mean, from the manga that I've read of his, definitely that does describe his work very well. Ooh, lots of money. But yeah. Just another Tatsumi to the collection. Is very much one of those author buys. Like as soon as I see his name, if there's something that I don't own by him, I have to get it. It's quintessential reading for me. Now onto some sort of normal titles. Well, I don't know if you arguably could call this normal, but I've got Utsubora, Story of a Novelist. Again, that's something that's been on my wish list for years. It's an older vertical release. And I just always really like the look of the cover. It looks quite gothic, quite dark, and it's about complete in one volume. Utsubora intimates the story of a novelist who succumbs to the siren call of plagiarism when a mysterious beauty straight from his own pages accosts him unbidden. Suspenseful, intelligent, and sensual, Asumiko Nakamura's masterpiece to date and first work to become available in English is a rare treat and delectable vindication of mature appreciators of the Japanese graphic novel. Very wordery. But yeah, I think this is a josei manga. I mean, the artwork would suggest so. It looks very josei to me, and I do believe that this author is a josei author. So, and I don't have enough josei in my collection, so I'm looking forward to reading this at some point, probably in about 5 years' time. Got a separate preamp for the vinyl player. Oh, nice one. Good. Noel Rodriguez, hello, welcome. Do you like any American comics? A few. I mean, I read so much manga that I would say I don't really have much room for comics of any other sort of country, but I do have an interest in other sort of comics, particularly. I really want to get into like Archrum, and also what's the guy's name? The guy who inspired Taya Matsumoto. Oh my God, what's his name? His name escapes me. But I do have a couple of the hardcovers of The Walking Dead. I've got Palestine by Joe Sacco, Elephant Men. That's actually by a British guy, so that's a British comic, I suppose, but it's got a very American style. So I read some, but it's very rare, once in a blue moon, extremely rare that I read American or any sort of Western comic or graphic novel. But there are a couple that I do have on my radar. I've always wanted to read Persepolis and Mouse. You know, these are like just legendary comics. So yeah, and I already have obviously Palestine by Joe Sacco, which is sort of like quintessential reading for any sort of avid graphic novel or comic book reader. I think I do like sort of political stuff. And if I do look at comics, then I don't look at like superhero comics or anything like that. I guess you could consider Elephant Men sort of superhero because it's about like anthropomorphic animals. But there's definitely a sort of political side to it because they're like anthropomorphic animals who were genetically created as like soldiers of war. And it's set in like a Blade Runner sort of esque universe where there's like a big war that it's like post like World War III. And now all these animals who were created for the purpose of fighting are trying to assimilate back into just like normal society. So there's like that sort of duality within society, like humans versus these anthropomorphized animals with human-like intellects. And what sort of function will they now serve in like a normal peaceful society when they were created as machines for war? It's really good. It's really good. I do recommend it. I am very much behind, out of date in terms of reading the story, and I don't know where it's up to. I don't know if it's finished or how many volumes there are, but I've got the first 4 volumes, and it's really good. So, Elephant Men, I do recommend Elephant Men. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Just got some Viz titles here. So, got some new volumes of Full Metal Alchemist, the hardcovers. I don't know what you call these, Full Metal editions. 11 and 12 with Kimberly and Winry on the cover. I think this goes up to the point where the Alphonse brothers are in Fort Briggs. Yeah. So, I mean, my favorite character in the whole of Full Metal Alchemist is Olivia Mira Armstrong. I absolutely love her. So I'm glad it's up to this point. I fucking love Full Metal Alchemist. But yeah, these Full Metal editions, really nice. I think it's going to be 18 in total because these are the Kanzenban edition. So there's 1.5 in each volume. 1.5 volumes rather, 1.5 volumes in each of these books. So 18 in total of these. And once I finish reading these, or once I finish collecting these, I'm going to start collecting the Kanzenban editions of Fist of the North Star by Viz, because I've always wanted to read Fist of the North Star. So yeah. Yeah, Doofy. I'm glad you agree, man. Olivier is such a badass because she's got that like strong character. Like she's a strong character, but she's also got like a lot of sex appeal as well. But like not she's not like fan servicey, you know. And I really appreciate that about her. She's, you know, I guess a really good, strong female character without relying on that sort of sex appeal, like physical sex appeal, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I think she's so badass. She's such a badass character. Yeah. Okay. Some more Viz Media titles. I've got some Junji Ito works, Remina and Sensor. I picked these up just before I recorded my collection video. So I mean, Junji Ito is another one of those authors that you just sort of buy just because it's Junji Ito. I mean, I'm glad he's so popular now, because at the time when I first learned about Junji Ito, the only things that I had published over here were Uzumaki and Gyo, and it was before even the hardcovers. It was only the single volumes, and Gyo was like long out of print. So Junji Ito was not very well known. He was quite an obscure author at the time that I first started reading him. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I would love if these were reprinted and more people knew about him. And now Viz Media have pretty much got like an entire category dedicated to him, and it's awesome. You know, you see like he features in like Viz Media's like promotional videos and stuff, and you see him in like interviews and stuff. And yeah, he's really, really popular, and that can only serve as a good thing. So yeah, I've got Remina. Obviously, Trujillo's artwork is just stellar as always. Damn, look at that. It's crazy. So, and then Sensor. I think Sensor, both Remina and Sensor, I think, are both self-contained stories. So they're not short stories per se. Yeah. It's I like some of his long-form sort of stories like Tomie and obviously Uzumaki and Gyo. I'm actually just about to start reading Frankenstein, which is one of his long-form stories as well. I love the original Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's original novel. Yeah, man. I remember when Fragments of Horror was super difficult to find. Really? Damn. It's one of those. It was one of Code's top 10 all-in-one. Was it? Yeah, he's removed a lot of his old videos now. I don't remember that video. And I was like, yo, who the fuck is Junji Ito? Exactly, many people were. But Viz Media have had a really successful like promotional campaign for his works, and now is you know, mainstream. But you know, people use this sort of word mainstream like it's a bad thing, but you know, if it's in the mainstream, then it's in the mainstream. It's in the mainstream of people's conscious thought, and that can only be a good thing when it comes to an author who deserves it. So you know, I'm glad the amount of love that he's getting. Oh, Doofy, have you reached your 1K yet? I just saw you message in Discord. Let's have a look at your channel. If anyone's watching, go check out My Name is Doofy. He's a really, really, really good creator. Very smart. It's just, I really, really, he's how can I describe My Name is Doofy? He's so mentally and verbally dexterous, and he really breaks things down really, really good. He's got some really cool, interesting topics. Where is he? He's on my subscription feed here somewhere. My name is Doofy. Oh, have you reached 1K already? Oh, I hope you have, man. Let's check your Discord message. Where you at, bro? Where he at? Do not expect this after weeks of being stuck at 974. Oh, that sucks. Oh, congratulations, Doofy, man. You made it just in time with 5 days to spare. Well done, man. Well deserved indeed. I think that's the first time you've hit 1,000 subscribers, no? Because you had your old channel as well. Did that ever reach 1,000 subscribers? I don't recall. I mean, I don't think I was ever subscribed to that channel. You know, back when you were creating content way back in the day. I remember, obviously, you missed the Rage Keepers thing, but I can't remember whether or not I was subscribed to that. But nevertheless, man, 2,000 nuts. And remember, girls have nuts too, so definitely 2,000. Well deserved, man. Well deserved. Yeah, nice one, man. Naruto was the best. Yes, first time ever. Old channel got 940. Oh, that's still good though, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, massive congrats, man. Well deserved. All right. Clockwork Apple. Some more Tezuka manga. I'm really glad that Digital Manga Publishing are sort of syndicating their manga on other platforms. I mean, this can only be a good thing because they've had the license for Tezuka for too long and done absolutely naff all with it. So, you know, it's good to have some of their manga. I mean, look at those beautiful panels. I mean, Tezuka's art style is arguably dated, but no one can argue that he's an absolute master when it comes to panel arrangement, sort of composing a page and, you know, having that sense of sort of, you know, dynamism. I mean, he was one of the first mangaka to sort of try and incorporate sort of like movie cinematography within like static panels, you know, in like sequential graphic storytelling, and it really shows. You know, he's got a real sort of timeless like movie quality appeal to his panel arrangement, and sort of, you know, he really does consider like panel arrangement on the page and how the page as a whole flows. I mean, to get this for another good example here, you know, with the fish and like the vertical sort of panels. I mean, I don't know when this particular manga is from, but he was one of the first. He was like one of the, you know, the pioneers of this sort of, you know, idea of trying to make manga more cinematic. I mean, you know, we're going back to like 1940s, 1950s when he was thinking about all this sort of stuff. You know, so this would have been, I mean, obviously this is just sort of par for the course nowadays. But back in the day, this was unseen, unheard of, you know, in comics. So yeah, I mean, I like owning Tezuka as well, just for its sort of historical significance. You know, what he did for the medium. You know, love him or hate him. Yeah. Okay. How many things I've got left to show? A couple more things. A Gekiga anthology, Japan as viewed by 17 creators. I got this a couple of months ago now, but I haven't showed it off yet, and I do want to talk about it. It's got some big names, so this is not too dissimilar from Axe alternative manga, which you can see on my shelf here. So it's just sort of a showcase of different authors who've been given a theme, I guess. The theme here obviously being the titular Japan, and how different authors, both domestic and international, view the culture of Japan, the country as a whole. So you've got, you know, names like Mayoko Ano, Frederick Boilet, who's a nouveau manga author, French author who became a manga in Japan. Kazuichi Hanawa, who's a legendary Gekiga author. Daisuke Igarashi, might be a name you're familiar with, as author of Children of the Sea. Little Fish, I don't know who that is. Tai Matsumoto, probably the biggest name in this book. Let's see who else. Kan Takahama and Jiro Taniguchi. You know, some more names that are familiar. But let's just sort of, I mean, look at this sort of like scratchy art style. I mean, look how cool that is. So you've got a mixture of Japanese and French comic writers, comic authors, you know, making contributions in this. Look at this. Look how cool that is. You know, it's just, I can't show you that, unfortunately, even though it's really nice art style. Lots of nudity. So here's the Jiro Taniguchi one. Pretty cool. There's the Matsumoto one. More like a sort of Western cartoony sort of contribution there. This is the Kan Takahama one. And there's some nice sort of shading on that one. You got some sort of more far out ones that like sort of essay contributions, perhaps, just with a few illustrations here and there. That's kind of similar to the first one I showed you. Just love the aesthetic of that. It's just so busy and crowded. This one's sort of like a nice sort of like brushwork on this one. It's kind of cool. But yeah, it's just a nice little collection. I mean, look at this one. I mean, that's cool as well. It's really nice. I'm probably going to show you everything in this book, to be honest. Here's the Daisuke Igarashi one. There's some pretty cool things with the white parts outside of the panels, sort of like, you know, some motifs and little floral designs outside of the panels, which is, I always like when artists do that. And it's just so well considered. That's very sexually explicit. Can't show you that one. Where's the Taya Matsumoto one? It might be last. Oh man, look at this. Look at that double page spread on that. That's gorgeous. Puffin, this is called Japan as Viewed by 17 Creators. They're all the creators that feature in this. So it's essentially just you know, each author has been given the theme of Japan and just sort of been asked to provide their own interpretation of it. So there's a really nice selection of different art styles in this. So I should do a review on this once I've read it. So there you go. Hope that gives you a sort of insight into how cool that might be. Next, we have Tokyo's My Garden by Benoit Peters and Frederick Boilet, with a contribution from Jiro Taniguchi. I did mention in my collection video that the artwork is actually by Frederick Boilet. I believe the story is by Benoit Peters, but Jiro Taniguchi only does the shading in this, so like the screen tones. So I don't know what to expect from this. I mean, I'm very much new to the sort of nouveau manga art scene. Nouveau manga is essentially, I mean, I don't even know if it still even exists. I don't know how short-lived it was, or how, I don't know what sort of longevity it had. But nouveau manga was a collective of authors, both from France, like Franco-Grecan artists, and Japanese artists who did frequent collaborations with each other to create manga, and most of these were published in magazines over in Japan, which is a rarity at the time that they were published, like about 20 years ago, like 2000. Again, I don't know how long it lasted for, but it was a sort of little movement, collective team of you know, authors from both the East and the West collaborating with each other to sort of give their own interpretations of you know, different aspects of life, both, you know, in the West and in the East. So I've read a couple so far, and they're really good. I really enjoyed them. I read Monokuro Kinder Book by Kan Takahama. It was really insightful, really good, really good perspective on how she sees like her own culture, and working with, you know, colleagues from, you know, different sort of walks of life. And if you know anything about sort of comic markets, graphic novel markets, you know, around the world. I mean, Japan is obviously the biggest exporter of comic, you know, biggest sort of creator of comics. The biggest comic market is in Japan, and second to that would be arguably France. France is a really big comic scene and has for years. So, you know, for French artists and Japanese artists to work together, that's a match made in heaven. So I'm expecting good things from a lot of the nouveau manga I've been picking up over the course of the last year, and highly anticipating reading, you know, getting more into it. But there isn't really that much to go by, and a lot of them are just published by Fanfare Ponetmon, which are a French publisher anyway, but they do publish manga in English too. I don't know too much about it. I mean, I'll probably be more educated on it once I've read them, once I've done more research into them. But you know, I like the sort of combination of styles. You know, two different you know, cultures coming to create something wholly unique. Mobius, that's the guy's name. Yes, I was trying to remember Mobius, the inspiration for Tai Matsumoto before Mobius. Yes. Yeah, Ikaro, that's one that's been on my radar. I know you recently picked that up, Puffin. One of Taniguchi's probably only sci-fi works. So, yeah, Doofy, go write your essay. Lots of bars now. Got an essay to finish. Yuck. But thank you for the great stream. No problem, man. No problem. Got a couple more things to show. So I'll try not to make it too much longer. Because if this is a sort of thing that people want to go back and rewatch, then I don't want it to drag out. So I picked up this one. ladeez, the Immortal Nuts. Lady the Immortal. Volume 3. So, what can I say that hasn't been said about these deluxe editions already? They're absolutely gorgeous. I'm really, really, really glad that Dark Horse are publishing these because Lady the Immortal has been something that's been notoriously challenging to pick up for a reasonable price, whether that be in the original single editions or the omnibus editions, which frequently go in and out of stock. These ones, I mean, I'm picking these up as and when they come out, so I'm fortunately not having too much difficulty in picking these up. But I mean, to see Hiroaki Samura's artwork like in its original formatted size, how it was originally published, this is the kind of artwork that you can and should only experience in this format, because it's a premium quality release for an author who creates premium quality manga. So I'm very, very grateful to have these, I guess, library editions. They're absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm continuing with Blade of the Immortal. I think Volume 4 is out already. So it's going to be 10 in total because it's a 31 volume long series or something. So I just want them to be complete. I just want them all now. Because I was being made aware that Dark Horse were recently acquisitioned by a new parent company. So I'm wondering what that would mean for Dark Horse's manga imprint, if it'll have any effect at all. Nevertheless, I don't think it shouldn't have too much of an effect, I would hope. Yes, Blade of the Immortal is one of my favourites. I have the omnibus editions. I'll probably get the hardcovers eventually. Yeah, nice one. I had a look at Red Snow recently and found out that it's made by the same guy who made Fukushima Devilfish. I hadn't planned on getting Fukushima Devilfish, but I really enjoyed Red Snow. I really enjoyed Red Snow as well. I found it's absolutely fantastic. I love all the different sort of kappas in them. The little water spirits. It was very kappa-centric, sort of rural folklore, Japanese folklore setting. I'm guessing Fukushima Devilfish will be a little bit different because it's sort of like his spin on the whole Fukushima, nuclear disaster crisis sort of thing. So I don't know if it'll be tonally similar to Red Snow. I presume it's going to be a little bit darker in tone, more of a political statement, which obviously Red Snow really wasn't. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it, but I'm not going to expect that it's going to be similar to Red Snow in any way. Okay, final pickup. Thank you for bearing with me. Final pickup for the year, in fact. This will be the last thing that I pick up this year. I'm not going to try order anything before New Year's, as it probably won't arrive. But this is something that I've been wanting for years, absolute probably decades. Something I've wanted to experience. It's not something that I will necessarily enjoy reading, but I think it's something that's it's one of those titles you need to read before you die, I would say, and that is Barefoot Gen. Barefoot Gen, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3. Look at that. and I got volume 4 as well. There's 10 of these in total. I do obviously plan on picking all of them up. Volume 5 wasn't available on Amazon Prime, so and I didn't want to kind of order these and have them be delivered the day after because it's something I want to have immediately. But Barefoot Again is a first, from what I'm led to believe, and I've seen the film. Keiji Nakazawa, the author, it's his first-hand account of experiencing the nuclear bombing of Hiroshima. From what I've read of the blurb, he was, from what I've read of his, he's got a foreword in the book. He was 1 kilometer. He was only 1 kilometer away from the epicenter of the blast, and he only survived. I mean, this is depicted in the film as well, but he only survived because he bent down, I think, to pick something up, and he was behind like a brick wall, which shielded him from the initial heat wave. If not for that, then he would have been burnt alive. So a very poignant, difficult read. I mean, it's just 10 volumes, so and the blast happens in the first volume, so the remaining 9 volumes are just going to be a struggle. And it's all based on his first-hand experience. Obviously, his majority of his family died, like his dad died, his little sister died. His mum gave birth immediately after the blast out of shock. And then that baby died of radiation sickness 4 months later. I mean, you really just can't imagine just the trauma. And to be able to have the mental fortitude to put that story to paper, put pen to paper and tell something so personal and shocking and traumatic. I mean, how could you not read something like that? To just learn. I think we have it good nowadays. So yeah, Barefoot Again. These are the beautiful hardcover versions from Last Gasp. I do want to have these, as I do sort of like the hardcovers. I know these are available in paperback as well. Yeah, I mean, it says Barefoot Again is the powerful, tragic, autobiographical story of the bombing of Hiroshima and its aftermath, seen through the eyes of the artist as a young boy growing up in Japan. The honest portrayal of emotions and experiences speaks to children and adults everywhere. Barefoot Again serves as a reminder of the suffering war brings to innocent people, and as a unique documentation of an especially horrible source of suffering, the atomic bomb. This is part of a 10-part series, so yeah, it's not something that you would necessarily enjoy reading, but it's something that I'm sure will really engross me. And it'll be strange to see sort of the contrast, the sort of juxtaposition of something so harrowing with such childlike, sort of whimsical artwork. I mean, that doesn't bother me because I've read like things like Kazuo Omez, who has a really sort of childish, sort of shonen, sort of Disney-fied style of artwork. But obviously, he's one of the greatest horror mangaka ever. Let's see if I can get the scene in question. Where is it? Oh boy, that's rough. Look at that. Yeah, these are things that he witnessed. Just, can you imagine, like the sort of, we're here chatting on the internet, talking about books that we enjoy, being able to have a roof over our heads and, spend time with each other at Christmas. And, 80 years ago, there was a nuclear war, more or less, or it could have escalated into one. Strange to think that something so devastating could happen, and now we're living relatively peaceful times. Anywho, that's everything that I've picked up in the last couple of months. Let's have a quick read of the comments before we wrap up. Barefoot Again, I want to see the anime should be an interesting read for sure. Yeah. I've also been planning on getting those. That's a classic and must read due to its description, due to its depiction of the disaster. I Saw It is a truncated version. Yeah, I think you mentioned you got the recent comic issues of that. Bakamatsu, thank you for joining. I hope you have a really good rest of the evening. And hopefully it's a bank holiday for you for tomorrow and Tuesday. And it is for me over here in the UK. So hope you have another couple of nice days off. Yeah, you mentioned that how lucky we are nowadays. Absolutely, man. Yeah, we're very privileged to live in times of relative peace. Anywho, on that somber note, I think I'm gonna call it an evening. Unless anyone has anything final that they want to say or any questions that they want to, put in the chat. If not, then thank you for watching. It's been fun. My legs are really aching. Sitting down for like an hour. I need to stretch. Ow. But yeah, I really appreciate you spending time and watching. I will try and get one more video out before the end of the new year. I do want to have a top 10 manga that I read for 2020, sort of consolidating my thoughts on some of the best things that I read throughout the manga wrap-ups that I've tried to get out on a monthly basis. I have to go watch Chelsea beat Aston Villa. Yeah, I'm not much of a big football fan, but I hope Chelsea win, for your sake. Yes, like I was saying, I do plan on trying to get one more video out. So yeah, Kavoth, thank you. Thanks for joining. Happy holidays. I hope you have a really good new year. But yeah, that's the end of the stream. I never know how to wrap these things up, so I'll just say sayonara.